When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary, chance I need to let you see.
The 1970s was a golden era for music, and at the heart of it were male vocalists whose voices defined a generation. From soul-stirring ballads to electrifying rock anthems, these singers left an indelible mark on music history. Whether through powerful storytelling, iconic stage presence, or unforgettable melodies, their influence continues to shape artists today. Join us as we celebrate the top 10 male singers of 1970 we will never forget.
Mama just killed a man.
Number 1. Freddie Mercury, Queen. Few singers in history have left an impact as profound as Freddie Mercury, the electrifying frontman of Queen. His 4-octave vocal range, unmatched stage presence, and ability to seamlessly switch between rock anthems and operatic ballads made him one of the greatest voices of the 1970s. Born Farrokh Bulsara in Zanzibar in 1946, Freddie's musical journey started early. He attended British boarding school in India, where he formed his first band.
My time has come.
In 1970, he co-founded Queen, and with his theatrical performances and extraordinary songwriting skills, he led the band to international fame. Hits like Bohemian Rhapsody, Somebody to Love, and We Are the Champions showcased his vocal prowess and creativity. His performance at Live Aid remains one of the most iconic live performances in rock history. Even after his untimely passing in 1991, his music continues to inspire millions. Mercury wasn't just a singer, he was a legend.
I have someone who needs me, someone I needed so long.
Number 2. Stevie Wonder. Few artists in music history have blended soul, funk, pop, and R&B as masterfully as Stevie Wonder. A true child prodigy, Stevie was signed to Motown's Tamla label at just 11 years old. By 13, he became the youngest artist to top the Billboard Hot 100 with Fingertips. But it was in the 1970s that he truly revolutionized music, crafting album masterpieces instead of just hit singles. His classic period produced legendary albums like Talking Book, Inner Visions, and Songs in the Key of Life, winning him an unprecedented 3 consecutive Grammy Awards for Album of the Year. Songs like Superstition and You Are the Sunshine of My Life showcased his innovative use of synthesizers, reshaping R&B forever. Despite being blind since infancy, his music was vibrant, socially conscious, and deeply emotional. With over 100 million records sold and 25 Grammys, Wonder's influence is undeniable. His genius and activism continue to inspire generations of artists and fans alike.
This feeling inside.
Number 3. Elton John. With his flamboyant style, soaring vocals, and unforgettable melodies, Elton John became one of the most iconic musicians of the 1970s. Born Reginald Kenneth Dwight, he started playing piano as a child and earned a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music, but his heart belonged to rock and roll. And in 1967, he partnered with lyricist Bernie Taupin, forming one of music's greatest songwriting duos. His breakthrough came in 1970 with Your Song, launching a decade of chart-topping hits. From Rocket Man and Benny and the Jets to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, his songs combined emotional depth with larger-than-life showmanship. His extravagant costumes and electrifying stage presence made every performance unforgettable. Elton dominated the 70s, scoring 7 consecutive #1 albums in the US and selling over 300 million records worldwide. Beyond music, he became a philanthropist, championing HIV/AIDS awareness. His legacy is unmatched, proving that Elton John isn't just a rock star, he's a legend.
I'm so in love with you.
Number 4. Al Green. With his silky falsetto, soul-stirring delivery, and deeply romantic lyrics, Al Green became one of the most beloved voices of the 1970s. Known as the Prince of Soul, Green's signature sound blended soul, gospel, and R&B, creating timeless classics like Let's Stay Together.
Make it do right.
Tired of Being Alone, and Love and Happiness. His music was intimate yet powerful, and his ability to express raw emotion made him stand out. Green's career was closely tied to producer Willie Mitchell and High Records, where he crafted his biggest hits. However, his life took a dramatic turn after a personal tragedy in 1974, leading him to become an ordained pastor and shift his focus to gospel music. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a winner of 11 Grammy Awards, Green's influence spans generations. Whether in soul, gospel, or R&B, his voice remains one of the most distinctive and cherished in music history. Number 5. Marvin Gaye. Few artists have shaped the landscape of soul and R&B like Marvin Gaye. Dubbed the Prince of Motown, Gaye's silky voice, emotional depth, and fearless songwriting made him one of the most influential artists of the 1970s. He started his career in Motown's hit-making machine, delivering classics like I Heard It Through the Grapevine and How Sweet It Is. But it was in the 70s that he truly broke barriers, redefining what soul music could be. His 1971 masterpiece, What's Going On, was more than an album. It was a profound social statement. Songs like Mercy, Mercy Me and Inner City Blues addressed racism, war, and environmental issues, making it one of the most important albums in history. He followed it with Let's Get It On, a sensual anthem that showcased his ability to blend raw passion with musical sophistication. Though his life ended tragically in 1984, Marvin Gaye's legacy as a soul icon and musical revolutionary lives on, inspiring generations.
Need your love more than I could ever say.
Number 6. Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin. With his powerful wails, raw energy, and electrifying stage presence, Robert Plant became the definitive voice of hard rock and heavy metal. As the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, his soaring vocals and mystical lyrics shaped some of the most iconic rock anthems of all time, including Stairway to Heaven, Whole Lotta Love, and Immigrant Song. Born in 1948 in England, Plant was drawn to the blues and rock and roll at an early age. His path to greatness began when he joined Led Zeppelin in 1968.
For me, the clouds once more to spin.
Forming a legendary partnership with Jimmy Page. Their debut album revolutionized music, blending blues, folk, and hard rock into a new explosive sound. Even after Zeppelin disbanded in 1980, Plant remained a fearless innovator, exploring solo projects, folk collaborations, and even bluegrass with Alison Krauss. A Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, Plant's voice and spirit continues to influence rock's greatest performers. Number 7. Barry White. With his deep, velvety voice, sophisticated orchestration, and soulful romantic ballads, Barry White became the undisputed king of love songs in the 1970s. His sensual, bass-heavy vocals and lush arrangements, often backed by his Love Unlimited Orchestra, defined an era of R&B, soul, and disco. Born in 1944 in Texas, White's early years were shaped by gospel and classical music, which influenced his signature symphonic sound. After working behind the scenes as a producer and songwriter, he stepped into the spotlight in 1973. Delivering his first solo hit, I'm Gonna Love You Just a Little More, Baby. He followed it with Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe, and You're the First, the Last, My Everything, both of which became global anthems of romance. Selling over 100 million records, White's legendary voice and orchestral soul style remain timeless. Whether on the radio, weddings, or candlelit nights, his music still sets the mood like no other.
Taking out this time to say.
Number 8. Donny Hathaway. Few voices in soul music have been as deeply moving and influential as Donny Hathaway's. With his rich, gospel-infused vocals, soulful melodies, and deeply emotional songwriting, Hathaway left an indelible mark on R&B and jazz before his tragic passing in 1979. Born in Chicago in 1945, Hathaway was raised in St. Louis and honed his musical talents in church before earning a scholarship to Howard University. He worked behind the scenes as a songwriter, session musician, and producer, crafting hits before stepping into the spotlight. His debut album, Everything Is Everything, 1970, introduced soul classics like The Ghetto,
Chance need to let you see.
setting the stage for a remarkable but short-lived career. Hathaway is perhaps best known for his duets with Roberta Flack, including the Grammy-winning Where Is the Love and the tender ballad The Closer I Get to You. His holiday classic, This Christmas, remains a seasonal favorite covered by generations of artists. However, behind the success was a battle with mental illness, as Hathaway struggled with paranoid schizophrenia, which ultimately led to his untimely death in 1979 at just 33 years old. Despite his struggles, his music lives on, influencing artists like Stevie Wonder, Alicia Keys, and Amy Winehouse. His song Someday We'll All Be Free continues to serve as an anthem of hope for many.
She can do it, she can do it, she don't make false claims.
Number 9. David Bowie. Few artists have transformed music and culture like David Bowie. With his chameleon-like reinventions, genre-defying music, and trailblazing visual aesthetics, Bowie remains one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. Born David Robert Jones in London in 1947, Bowie started his career in the 1960s, but struggled for success until Space Oddity became his breakthrough hit. His career skyrocketed in 1972 when he introduced the world to Ziggy Stardust, a flamboyant, androgynous rock star persona that defined the glam rock era. The rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars became one of rock's most celebrated albums. Bowie's ability to reinvent himself saw him transition from Plastic Soul fame 1975 to Berlin-inspired electronic sounds. In the 1980s, he embraced pop with Let's Dance, becoming a global superstar. He later explored industrial rock, jazz, and experimental music, proving his artistic curiosity never faded. With over 100 million records sold, 6 Grammys, and endless cultural impact, Bowie's legacy as a music visionary remains unparalleled. His ever-evolving artistry, fearless innovation, and genre-bending genius continue to inspire artists across generations.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary.
Number 10. Paul McCartney. Sir Paul McCartney is not just a name in music, he is a living legend. His voice, one of the most versatile and recognizable in rock history, has effortlessly spanned across genres, from tender love ballads to high-energy rock performances. Whether as a member of the Beatles, the leader of Wings, or a solo artist, McCartney's vocal ability has always been a defining element of his success. His ability to shift between soft, heartfelt melodies and powerful, soaring choruses is what sets him apart as one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Something in a style that shows me I don't want.
One of the finest showcases of his vocal prowess came with Maybe I'm Amazed, a song written in tribute to his wife, Linda, during the early days of his solo career. The song captures an emotional depth few artists can achieve, with McCartney's raw, passionate vocals making it one of the most celebrated love songs of all time. Then came Band on the Run, an electrifying anthem from his days with Wings. The song's dynamic shifts from slow and reflective to upbeat and triumphant, highlighting McCartney's ability to convey emotion through his voice while maintaining a commanding presence. Who was your favorite from this era? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.